A very good evening to all of you. Some students, those who are giving their 100% in sports, for them to understand all those things is very difficult because they do physical exercises. For them, this video will helpful, and for those who are doing their courses from open, also this video will help them a lot. So we know that chemical equation we have to write magnesium Mg, oxygen O, and LHS we know, and what is RHS, what is equal balance, what is balanced equation, and what is skeletal chemical equation we know. Now we have to go through about the balanced chemical equation. Recall the law of conservation of mass. Conservation of mass, it's basically conservation of mass. The mass is neither be created nor destroyed in a chemical reaction. In other words, you can say the mass of any one element at the beginning of reaction will equal the mass of that element at the end of the reaction. It can't be destroyed, or it can't be created. That is, the total mass of elements present in the products of a chemical reaction has to be equal to the total mass of elements present in the reactants. In other words, the number of atoms of each element remains the same before and after a chemical reaction. Before and after the chemical reaction, it will remain same. Hence, we need a balanced skeletal chemical equation. Is the chemical equation Mg plus O2 arrow MgO a balanced equation? Let us learn about balancing a chemical equation step by step. Mg plus O2 arrow MgO is not a balanced chemical equation. This type of reaction is known as combination reaction or synthesis reaction, like A plus B equal to AB. In order to balance the equation, we can put 2 in the coefficient place in front of MgO, because there is oxygen is atom is 2, so we have to make in RHS side O2, and we have to also equal both magnesium from LHS and RHS. So we have to add 2 MgO in RHS side, and we have to, after that we have to add 2 Mg in LHS side. 2 coefficient number, we have to calculate all those things, and we have to add certain number to make the equation balance. Now the equation is balanced, and the final equation will be 2 Mg plus O2, that is 2 MgO. So we can make a skeletal equation which is not balanced equation we can make the skeletal equation into a balanced equation by adding coefficient numbers. Let us see some other example. Zinc plus sulfuric acid, arrow, zinc sulfurate plus hydrogen. The word equation for activity 1-3 may be represented. The above word equation may be represented by the following chemical equation. We have to write it in a chemical equation form. That is zinc, we have to write Zn, plus sulfuric acid, we have to write H2SO4 arrow, and the reactant, the product will be ZnSO4 plus H2. Let us examine the number of atoms of different elements on both sides of the arrow. Now we have to examine all those things. Is it a balanced chemical equation? So we have to first write the element Zn, H, S and O. Number of atoms in a reactant LHS, Zn is 1 and in RHS side it's also 1. H is 2 and in RHS it is also 2. S is 1 and RHS it's also 1. O, LHS side 4 and RHS side also 4. As the number of atoms of each element is the same on both sides of the arrow, equation 1.3 is a balanced chemical equation. Let us try to balance the following certain other reaction. Following chemical equation: Fe plus H2O arrow Fe3O4 plus H2O. So you have to do all those things step by step. Step 1, first you have to balance a chemical equation. First draw boxes around. If in future I will purchase any type of blackboard, then I will draw it and it will be also little bit helpful for you students. Chemical equation: first draw boxes around each formula. Fe, you have to round it. Fe plus H2O, you have to make square, and arrow Fe3O4 plus H2O. Then in step 2 you have to write all those things, and in step 3 you have to observe where we have to add certain coefficient number, and in step 5 you have to again check it, and in 5 you are now in final stage, that is 3Fe plus H4 H2O arrow Fe3O4 plus 4 H2. So we can understand how we can make a skeletal equation into a balanced equation. We have to go through this step by step process. The number of atoms of elements on both sides of equation are equal. This equation is now balanced. This method of balancing chemical equation is called hit and trial method, as we make trials to balance the equation by using the smallest whole number coefficient. There will be a question: what is hit and trial method? What is hit and trial method? And you have to write it. The method that is balancing chemical equation is called hit and trial method. As we make trials to balance the equation, the number of atoms of elements on both sides equation are equal. This equation is now balanced. This method of balancing chemical equation is called hit and trial method. To make trial to balance the equation by using the smallest whole number coefficient. And step VII, writing system of physical states. Carefully examine the above balanced equation. Does this equation tells us anything about the physical state of each reactant and products? No information has been given in this equation about their physical states, which form the chemical, which form the equation is written. It's in gaseous form, it's in solid form. For example, Mg, magnesium is metal, where oxygen is in water or gas, you can say in liquid form, or it can be also in gaseous form. We have to write it accordingly. So it's not clearly mentioned it's a metal or in gaseous form or in any type of form. So we have to also understand, and we have to also learn how we can know all those things. To make a chemical equation more informative, the physical states of the reactants and products are mentioned along with their chemical formula. The gaseous, liquid, aqueous and solid state of reactants representatively. Basically, these are the gaseous form. It may be the gaseous form, it may be in the liquid form, aqueous form and solid states of reactants respectively. The word aqueous, AQ, is written if the reactant or product is present as a solution in water. The balance equation becomes 3Fe within bracket S. It's a solid, and 4H2O within bracket G. It's in gas form, gaseous. Oxygen in gas form, gaseous. Dash Fe3 plus H2S. Again, O is oxygen is in S, that is Fe3O4, that is S, solid form, and 4H2, that is in G, that is in within bracket G. It's in gaseous form. Note that the symbol G is used with H2O to indicate that in this reaction water is used in the form of steam, where there will be written G, symbol G is used with H2O to indicate that in this reaction water is used in the form of steam, S. Here Fe3O4S, that is its steam form. Oxygen is in steam form. Okay, sometimes we also get confused, either it is written wrongly, or we just don't know anything about these things. So we have to learn all those things by reading again and again, 4 to 5 times. Then we gradually understand all those things. Usually physical state are not included in the chemical equation unless it is necessary to specify them. Sometimes the reaction conditions such as temperature, pressure, catalyst, etc. for the reaction are indicated above or below the arrow in the equation. For example, certain things are written sunlight. If certain things is written in arrow, LHS side arrow and RHS side arrow, above arrow sunlights and below arrow certain things are written, and we have to understand all those things. Using these steps, can you balance equation given in the text earlier? So this is all about what is balanced equation, what is a skeletal equation, and how we can also make a skeletal chemical equation into a balanced chemical equation. In our next class, we will try to learn about type of chemical reactions. Thank you for today, and try to read it again and again so that you will be very comfort enough to know all those things.